Yeah, okay, that cuts off a little shorter than I was expecting. Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. God damn it. Welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play. Episode... I don't know. I think... Are we getting close to 50? No, this is 48. 48, I believe. I think we've done 47 already. Yes, we did do 47. Oh, bother. Yeah, so, if you... It's hard. This project is huge. It's going to take me forever and take multiple live streams and a lot of just grinding. So forgive me if this well, it just kind of turns into the Oreo. I think it took me like 10 episodes to complete the Oreo. If I do some live streams, it shouldn't take too long. Let me know what you thought of the live stream. I mean, well, not only Mike showed up and somebody else, so wasn't that eventful, but you know, whatever. I talked about how I finally got this one Minecraft world that's been on my Nintendo Switch onto my Xbox, and then I finally got it on to my computer, which is where I've wanted it ever since I got, well, my computer. So yeah, we're just gonna go shovel sand, I guess. Oh boy, my phone is going off. Yeah. Those are the plans today. I spent most of the day just watching Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, which is interesting. I was supposed to be like analyzing it. I didn't think about it. I wasn't really thinking too much as I was watching it because I started it last night after finishing Seinfeld, which you know, I'd seen a lot of episodes of Seinfeld. Apparently, I've seen almost every episode of Seinfeld. I now have seen every episode of Seinfeld, but besides the point. The point is, I had no idea I had seen so many episodes, but it was just as good as I remember. It was. I don't know. Every time I watched Seinfeld, I guess I was younger, so maybe I wasn't as into it as I was then, and like I guess the jokes didn't make too much sense to me. I don't know. Point is, I liked it a lot more than I thought. It was really good. I understand why people wanted to go for a lot longer. I also learned NBC, the president, was going to pay Jerry $100 million. This is in 1998, well, probably 97, 98, 97. May I point this out? $100 million. All right, that's a lot of money. Like for one more season. That wasn't like, you know, they were like a that wasn't like they were trying to do like a 5-season deal out of Jerry. No, 10. He wanted just one more season. He was willing to pay $100 million for it. I don't think they were. I don't think Big Bang Theory they were willing to pay $100 million to keep it going. Truth be told, unlike Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother, Jerry stopped it because he wanted it to be ahead, which is, I guess, why it's renowned as one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. There's a lot of countdowns to say other shows are. It varies. I mean, some rank Friends higher. I don't know. I probably have to like watch Friends somehow now, so I can compare the two, see if I enjoy Friends. Rondo was like, "Oh, it's just Friends. Just sit around talking, just like Friends." Like this came before Friends, so if anything, Friends copied it, and also it's a sitcom. It's what you do. Sitcoms, as I began to realizing, it's just people sitting around drinking either coffee or beer. Right? In the Big Bang Theory, they sat around and ate Thai food. Or pizza or whatever. Depending. That is the sitcom's bread and butter right there. If you pay attention at all to that anyways. So, yeah, you can't just compare it on that. I will say, Friends probably has gotten a lot bigger than Seinfeld ever did, or has, I should say. I feel like back in the day, Seinfeld was bigger than Friends, but Friends is definitely bigger now, just because I feel like it resonates with younger crowds better than Seinfeld did. Seinfeld has definitely not aged well, that is for sure. The whole concept of a show about nothing is, I don't know. It's interesting, to say the least. Oh, I forgot I destroyed my bow on the live stream. Oops. Oh, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to get back. Well, at least infinity is, well, literally infinite, so. Aw, I was timing those so perfectly, and then I missed one. Anyways, I was watching Ned's Declassified, and Rondo was just like, yeah, I don't want to watch this. And I'm like, well, then he's like, why don't you watch Breaking Bad or House? And I'm like, well, I don't want to subject myself to the first 2 seasons of Breaking Bad. The first season is definitely better than the second season. The second season is so boring. Like, I'd argue it wasn't boring when you watch it through the first time, because you don't know what's going to happen, you know? You're on the edge of your seat. Well, I wasn't too on the edge of my seat, because I know... I knew roughly how the show ended. I knew roughly how the show ended. I didn't know everything. But I knew a good portion, so I was just like, okay, not that big. I wasn't... Point is, watching it through another time, I've already subjected myself to the second season twice, actually. I watched a good portion of it with Phil one time. I just... Now, we hopped on Amazon Prime, because I was just like, I don't know, I'll watch House, because Rondo hadn't seen the pilot, and so I was like, okay, we'll watch an episode 2 of House. Well, then I saw Invincibles, and I was like, hey, you wanted me to watch Invincibles, and then my brain did what it does best and pieced information together, and I was just like, wait a minute. Is this the one where there's these memes about this guy that looks like James Jonah Jameson, but he's a superhero? He's like, yes, that's Invincibles. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll watch. It's yeah, and so I did. Anyways, so actually, I had this idea a long time ago, back when actually, I've had this idea for a long time. So I wanted to write a sitcom. I don't remember when it started. I don't remember why I wanted to write a sitcom. It was sometime in high school, but I wanted to write a sitcom, and I wrote like what would be like a few minutes of one back in high school. And that was it. That's all the dreams ever written. It was a few things. Anyways, I've only read it like once since then. It just kind of got shoved into the back of my Google Docs and just kind of got forgotten. However, when Corona happened, and I had the house to myself, I had this idea. I was just like, well, what if I bring this back, but like, but I was like, let's do a YouTube sitcom, if you will, or something similar. And so the whole idea was basically every character would be me. And there'd just be basically 2 main characters, and they'd basically sit around drinking coffee, crack some wise jokes, and then that'd be it. Discuss some problems they had or whatever, And that would be the whole episode. But then I got to thinking the other day. I started thinking about that. But then I went and did the game theory episode. I've recorded, I should say. I shouldn't say I'm working on. I've written and recorded a whole. Oh yeah, I'm in 1.17 now. The new iron ore textures and stuff. Oh boy. Well, anyways, so I got to thinking about, well, and I played this, anyways, so I played this character. I was this, in it, I was the cop, obviously, in this game theory, video, and, the cop reminded me. I basically played Buford T. Justice. He was the cop from Smokey and the Bandit. Love that movie. Anyways, so I was basically playing Buford T. Justice. And I don't know why, but something gave me the idea. I'm like, I liked playing that character. You know, boy, I don't know. Anyways, the point is, I liked playing the character. It was fun getting to wear my Stetson and stuff, and just blatantly breaking laws and as a police officer. Anyways, so I was just like, I had this idea to continue a similar character, but build not a sitcom around him, but build a sitcom around this government agent. Who basically, it's the X-Files. I've never seen the X-Files. Or maybe it was closer to Twilight Zone. No. It's definitely closer to the X-Files. Anyways, I've never seen the X-Files, but from what I've been told, I guess my idea would be something similar to it. I think. And so basically, here's how the pilot plays down. Basically, you know, you get your classic shot of a starry night sky. You know, you're setting the scene. You're in, I guess, Texas. I guess, and we cut to this dark alleyway where this creature emerges. Well, maybe I don't remember because obviously the creature was going to be an alien. I don't know how I'm going to show him getting to Earth. I'll have to come up with something. Maybe there'll be like a loud, you know, and then, I don't know. And then you'll see this creature like tumble out into the alley and start to like, you know, wander its way through trash cans and stuff, sniffing for like food, basically. The creature eventually ends up breaking into this lady's house and rummaging around in her refrigerator, and the lady comes out and is like, "Oh my god!" and like freaks out and calls the sheriff, and the sheriff, Buford T. Justice, or that's not the name of the character, obviously. It's just the closest thing you could get. He's not. The sheriff won't be as incompetent as him, but she calls him. He sees the creature, chases it off, and she's like, "What was that?" And he's like, "I don't know, man, but I know some boys back in Washington who'd love to take a look at this. I'll be in contact with you." And he leaves, and we cut to a coffee shop scene where we see one character. All these characters being played by me. Anyways, you'll have our main character. I want to make it Brad Everett, and I want to see if I can play it into the whole short film series. I don't know how I would do that. I would like to. I'm not sure if there is a way, but I sure could figure out one. Anyways, so say let's have Brad Everett and this guy who's gonna be Brad's friend or whatever. Anyways, uh, they're experts at at strange anomalies and aliens and monsters and that kind of stuff. The government's got a whole team or partners, I guess, that handle this stuff. Well, anyways, I don't want to say they're retired, but they're not doing as many cases as they used to. But anyways, and the partner comes in, and they're just meeting for coffee, and they make some banter about why do we always meet at the same coffee shop. But and it goes back and forth a little bit, like a sitcom, kind of based off of Jerry and George's conversations they have in Seinfeld. Anyways, the two of them then he's just like, I got a file. He's like, a file? Or not a file. He's like, I've got a case. He's like, a case? We haven't done a case in months or whatever, And he's like, well, it's in Texas. You're gonna want to take a. It's in maybe not Texas, Oklahoma. I don't know. Some place where a southern accent isn't abnormal. And so some place where a southern accent is normal, but not too far south. That believing that a Nebraska landscape would Nebraska landscape, you couldn't believe that this a Nebraska landscape couldn't be someplace like there. So definitely Oklahoma, I would see, like southern Oklahoma. Anyways, if I'm making sense, I don't know if I'm making sense. Oh shoot, I was gonna have to dump off all the sand. Shoot. Anyways, and so the two of them, they fly out to Oklahoma, and they go and investigate, and the lady is just like, you boys seem to have well, you boys seem to have you boys don't seem to have a, or sir, you don't seem to have a southern accent at all. And he's like, no, we're from up north, ma'am. I see. Or something like that. I don't know. Point is, she's interested. She's just like, why? And like, oh, we're from up north. That's where the bureau is, or whatever, wherever they're being sent from. We still got plenty of charcoal. Not that there probably won't be enough to finish this whole thing, but enough as it is. So anyways, yeah, that's about as far as I got with the sheep files. I don't know, the Doc files, the Brad files, I don't know, the Effort files series. And they would, obviously, there'd be a lot more of this, very similar to the pilot, something strange happens, they get called in, they have to go investigate, so on and so forth, yada yada yada. Oh, so on and so forth, and blah 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 blah. And that's the whole series. So yeah, it's not very fleshed out. Obviously, if I wanted to do this, I would try and just write out an entire season. Sit down and just kind of write the whole thing. Just so that because writing a TV show is very different than writing a short film. A short film, or a series of short films, I guess. Because a series of short films, I'm stringing them together as I go along. Kind of, basically. So, the Corona short film, which hasn't been filmed, probably never will get filmed, but I spent hours of my life putting together a script that I'm reasonably proud of. Anyways, it has to stay with certain boundaries. The original draft, the world would end. Well, I then thought, like, well, I kind of want every single one of my short films, except for the corn one. The corn was just an artistic thing. I kind of want every single one of them. Well, I guess the corn one doesn't necessarily stick out because there is a Dr. Sheep character in the universe. He's in Fluffy's funeral because he's the one in charge of filming the whole thing. So I think that was my whole reasoning, that Dr. Sheep made that video. And it's a whole play on things. Anyways, the point is that they all bleed together in some way. And so that happened just because I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool if they all bled together. Because I couldn't come up with new names ever. So I was just like, despite the fact that I kill a lot of people in these short films, and so I have to come up with new names every time I kill people off, I couldn't end the world like in the original rough draft of the Corona thing when I first had the idea way back when. But I still liked the idea of the world ending, and so I wanted that aspect to be in the coronavirus, and so it's just a dream sequence, basically. But the original one really would have been a short film. Like, we're talking 5 minutes. Most of it's just a news montage talking about the world ending. And, like, Phil and I talking about, how bad Kyle's getting or whatever because he has corona or whatever. Point is, we make big jokes about it. Not jokes, but we talk about it as the world's burning all around us, and we didn't get the coronavirus because we must have become immune to it when we were working with it. Blah 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 blah. The point is, the whole thing ends up, and we clink glasses in the end, and the world ends. And we're the last 3 people alive, right? And then, well, obviously, Kyle dies because he was dying, and we took him off life support to let him watch one last sunset. And we clink our glasses together and the credits roll, basically. And we're the last 2 human beings alive on the planet. So, but obviously I couldn't let that happen if I wanted all of my short films to bleed together. Because I think somebody I don't remember, somebody said, like, well, hold on, if you're going to have that happen, is it like the end of the series? And I'm like, well, it's kind of unrelated. And they're just like, make it bleed in, but don't make the world end. And I'm like, well, that's more complicated. And so I had to come up with this whole spiel about how the world doesn't end, but I still wanted that scene because it's such a cool idea, such a good scene, and I wanted to keep the idea, and so I managed to get it in. Anyways, it's a dream sequence. Basically, that short film, it's the same. It follows very similar to what the original short film would have been like. Actually, it literally follows the short film pretty much to a T. Up until he wakes up from the dream, and then it deviates, obviously. And the one short film idea, the world ends. So it's 2 short films in one, kind of. You could take everything after the dream sequence and before the dream sequence as one short film, or take just everything in the dream sequence and before as one short film, and just say he never woke up from the dream. It wasn't a dream. The world actually ended. Which is a interesting concept and idea. But yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, so writing the short films and getting them to bleed together is like I'm building off a structure that already exists. And so, and already exists, and I already have kind of the idea of how it's going to work. The sitcom, like I'm suggesting, I'd have to completely come up with new material. It's all going to be brand new. It's all going to have its own timeline and everything. That's a lot of work, you know, coming up with a long-term timeline. I guess I have experience in that. There was so when Phil and Kyle and I were much younger. Meow, kitty. We made these movies. These that wasn't supposed to happen. Anyways, we made these superhero movies, and the first one we just kind of made up as we went along. Like, so we made two versions of the first movie. First one, we literally did it in a morning. We just made it up as we went along, and that was it. We then redid it with actual scripts and stuff, because there was stuff we wanted to add, and blah, blah, blah. And we also wanted to record it in a much better quality. The original one, we recorded it in potato quality, because we didn't know how long we wanted to make this thing, and so we wanted to ensure that we had plenty of SD card space, because this is back in the day when you couldn't just go and pick up 128 gig SD card, or two of them, and so you have hours of HD footage. No problem. Your biggest problem is literally battery space. Batteries. Is literally the battery on your camera. I digress, though. So we redid it in HD quality. Wow. The world's changed a lot since then. Anyways, because HD was like a big deal then. Now it's like, I wish I could record in like 4K or 12K or whatever. Yeah. The Ursa, they record in 12K. Anyways, so we made these movies. They're longer than my short films. They're about 30 minutes. So anyways, we then made a second movie. Phil went ahead and wrote a second movie. I think I gave him some input, but it was mostly him and Kyle writing the second movie, and then we did it. And they're like, well, now what? I'm like, well, what if so here's the crazy part. This was inspired by the original Avengers movie. And then the TV show, as like a spin-off or whatever, or as like a continuation of the story of these characters, was because of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because that was big at the time, and that's what I watched. And that's what I was watching on TV. So anyways, I should start continue to watch that again. I'd watched it up until the Gravitonium episode. Anyways, if you know the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's in the first season. Anyways, so I sat down and I was like, okay, I'll write a TV show that would lead up to a third movie, and then the third movie would lead up to another like 5 episodes after the TV show. The TV show would then go like another 5 episodes after, and then the TV show would end everything. They were very, very simple scripts. Like, looking back, the videos would... They were so basic and simple. And I had to, like, come up... Ouch. Okay? I had to come up with a way to explain why one of our characters wasn't in the scene, or, like, wasn't able to join the fight. To fight this villain. Because they had to play the villain, of course. And so I had to come up with some explanation or reason, blah, 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 blah. The point is, they're not good. I thought they were good. They were junk. They were not good. Going back and reading them, they were not good. So I do have some experience doing this. It has been many a years since I did that. And I would be, well, and I've also, well, I've learned a lot more about writing, and I've learned a lot more about character development and blah, blah, blah. So, could I go back and do it? I would think so. I don't know. It's something, I don't know, I thought about trying. And each one of these episodes, again, they'd be very short. I don't think I could ever write a full sitcom. That would be well out of my wheelhouse of expertise. But I never said I wasn't afraid to try I've never. The thing is, I've never been able to write a full movie, let alone a full, like, I've written what would essentially be now would be like one episode of a sitcom, except the plots are equivalent to a movie. So a lot of stuff happens in this 30 minutes, or this 30 minutes, when a TV show that doesn't happen, you know, it's a lot slower. The plot is spread over hours of footage. I think writing a full-length movie would be a challenge, because I'm so used to, like, quick, fast plots. Short films, that's just how that is. Short films, they're easy for me. I just sit down and I just write. And if the plots are really fast, that's fine. You know, it's a short film. That's the definition of it. The coronavirus short film script is probably my closest I have gotten to writing a full movie. It's probably 20 minutes. I don't know how long it'd actually be. I want to say it's close. I want to say it's close to 25, 30 minutes. I think it would be close to 30 minutes, which is still isn't a full, like, episode for a TV show, like a drama. It's certainly more than, like, an episode of Seinfeld. So, you know, but that's one thing. That's not an entire series. And obviously those things are all written by, you know, a team of people. I'm sure if I had a co-writer, we could probably we could probably write a movie. Phil and Kyle and I could probably write a full movie. I think the three of us, and maybe even Will, if we throw Will in there, we could probably write a movie. That'd be a cool challenge. I'd love for us to do that. I think we've been talking about kind of wanting to redo those old movies we made back in the day. But I don't know. It's a thought. Anyways, I am so sorry. We are at 34 minutes. I've just been sitting here talking. I like filmmaking, so we are surprisingly a lot closer to being done than I thought. There's still a lot to do, but much closer on the walls anyways. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New videos every Monday, 11 a.m. Central Time, and good night. hello there. Actually, it's more of a goodbye. This is my Minecraft outro. Anyways, make sure you subscribe so that we can hit our 10K goal so we can plant 100 trees for subs for trees. Otherwise, stick around for the next 20 seconds to give me that sweet, sweet watch time.